Prepare to be astonished.
No, it's just me, Dave Newell.
What was that?
Yes, I do. No, it's just me,
What is
Dave
that?
Newell.
Hey,
Yes, I do.
shut up. Gabe, is that you? Gaben?
No, it's
Gaben?
just me, Dave Newell.
Welcome everyone, I'm the NES Ninja, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a video. The video is going to be about my NES game collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's going to be really cool. I'm going to show you all my NES games. I have a couple that are in the boxes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. These are my NES games A through D. I'm going to name them all. So right here, number one, the first one, it's in alphabetical order. I have Adventures in Magic Kingdom. It's a pretty cool game. You just walk around Magic Kingdom and ride rides and get points and all that stuff. Now second, I have Bad Dudes. This is a beat 'em up style game, and I don't really like it. The controls are really like sloppy and weird. Double Dragon is actually much better than Bad Dudes, but I just thought it was a cool game to have. So yeah, that's Bad Dudes. Captain Skyhawk. It's a flying game where you fly around and shoot like helicopters, other planes, and you have to fight bosses at the end of levels. So that one is really cool. I would recommend this game right here, Captain Skyhawk, for anyone who loves really fun games. Here's one of the holy grails of the NES, Castlevania. It's an adventure side scroller game, and you basically just have to go fight all these classic monsters and Dracula at the end. It is a really cool game. I would recommend it for anyone who likes NES games and side scrollers to purchase this amazing game. Next we have Commando. You basically start at the bottom of the screen, and you're a soldier, and you have to move your way up and just shoot other soldiers and make it to the end of the level. It's a really cool game. I would actually recommend this one. It's made by Capcom, which they make amazing games. I wouldn't really recommend Demon Sword, even though the cover looks cool and it looks badass. I wouldn't recommend this one. The gameplay is just not fun, and the controls are really weird and like poor. So I would not recommend this one, but it's a cool one to have. One of the best NES games ever made, Double Dragon. It's a beat 'em up game. Basically your girlfriend was stolen by these thugs, and you have to go after these thugs and beat them up. It's a really good beat 'em up game, and I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite games on the NES. Yeah, I bought it for $7.99. It's actually a really good game, and I recommend it to anyone who loves beat 'em ups or just any video game at all. You should own Double Dragon, and you should own Castlevania. Those are two NES games that you should definitely own. Friday the 13th, made by LJN. I like the concept of the game. It's really hard and it's not that fun, but it's a cool game to own, and it has Jason on the cover, so that's pretty cool. The next game is a classic. It's Galaga for the NES, made by Namco. It is an amazing game. I would recommend it for anyone to play. It's just a top-down like space shooter, and I would highly recommend it. Next is another great game by Capcom, Ghosts and Goblins. Now, it is a really good game. You basically just have to fight all these ghosts and goblins. It's one of the hardest games on the NES, and I would recommend it to anyone who's up for a challenge. Next is Gunsmoke. It's a cowboy game. It's just like Commando, but it's a cowboy game. I would recommend it. It's one of my favorite games. You basically just go around shooting cowboys, Indians, and pretty much everything else, and you buy different guns, and it's a really cool game. I would recommend this one. It's another one made by Capcom, which is really good. Ice Hockey. Now this one is one of my favorites. It's really fun. The graphics are alright, but if you like sports games, this is a great sports game to have on the NES. And I would recommend it to anyone who loves hockey or sports games, because it is really fun. Iron Sword. This one, by looking at the cover, it looks really cool. But this one is just like Demon Sword. It's just like, it's alright, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's actually a really cool game, but it's just really hard to understand how to play it. And it's just, you gotta look up stuff constantly. And I mean, I like games that I could just pick up and play. Like, I could just pick it up and know how to play it, like Gunsmoke or Ice Hockey. But it's a really cool game though. If you really are into like magic and like, like fantasy and stuff, it's a really cool game. Okay, so these are my NES games from J to R. Jaws is actually one of my favorite games. It's a it has bad ratings online, but I really enjoy this game. So I would recommend it to anyone who loves the movie Jaws, or just likes playing games that are based off of movies. The next game is March Rider. It's a classic. You should own it. It's an amazing racing game on the NES. I would recommend it. 10 out of 10 IGN. Yeah. Next is Metroid, one of the classics. Now, I don't have the original version of Metroid. It's the same game, but it's just the cover art is different. But it is a really good game. It's a really good side-scroller adventure game. It takes place in space, and I would recommend it to anyone who loves really, really fun games. It's just really, really fun. One of my favorite games of all time, Mega Man 3. It is such a fun game. It's a side-scroller action game. There's platforming. There's, it's just an amazing game. I would recommend any Mega Man game for anyone to play. They're just so amazing, and they're made by Capcom. Next is a really weird game. It's called Mickey Mouse Capade. It's made by Capcom. It is actually not the greatest game in the world. It's really hard to play. The story's alright, but it's just really hard to play. And why would they make a kids game that hard to play? But it's decent. I would give it like a 4 out of 10. Look at this bad boy. He is gold. Now this is a really weird game. It has 4 games in one. It is called the Quattro Adventure. It has Boomerang Kid, Super Robin Hood, Treasure Island Dizzy, and Linus Space Hood. It is gold. There's actually there's writing on the back. Ali Hauber. And there's a little switch that I don't know what the switch does. It gives you directions. But, it is a really weird game. I've never seen one like it before. It even has a little weird grip thing down there. I wouldn't really recommend this one because just the games on this game cartridge, they're not that good and they're not really that fun. But it's just a cool game that I bought because it looks really cool because it's gold. It's not real gold, but and just it has 4 games on it, and I've never seen an NES game like this before, so that's why I bought it. Rambo. Now this game is not really that fun. It's just a Legend of Zelda 2 clone on the NES, and you're just playing as Rambo. It's quite hard. I like the Rambo movies, but this is it's not that fun. I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone to buy unless they really love the Rambo movies. But I would give this like a 3 out of 10. It's not that great of a game. This is one of the best racing games on the NES. It's a must-own to have. It's called Rad Racer. You basically you race, and it is one of the greatest racing games I've ever played. I would recommend it for anyone who loves old video games, new video games, any person who loves playing video games. You should get a copy of Rad Racer. It is one of the greatest games I've ever played. I would definitely recommend it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It is amazing. These are my NES games from S to T. Of course, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. It's a must-own on the NES. I don't really like Duck Hunt too much. It's hard to play with the new TVs now, but if I had a TV that was from like the 80s, it is a fun game. Mario, what's more to say? It's the first Mario game that came out on the NES. It is one of the greatest games. It's a must-own. You should have it. The next game is Super Mario 3. It is one of the greatest games I've ever played. I would recommend it. 9 out of 10. It is a really fun game. It's challenging too, and it's probably one of the best Mario games ever made. The next games I have is Super Spike Volleyball and Nintendo World Cup Soccer. These 2 games you could play up to 4 players. This is one of my favorite games on the NES, Nintendo World Cup. Super Spike Volleyball. It's a good volleyball game, but it's just not the funnest game. It's really hard too. But I would recommend this. Pick it up for like $4 if you could find one. It's a really good combination of 2 games. The Adventures of Bayou Billy. What else can you say? There's a guy dressed like he lives in the bayou. There's a girl and there's an evil man. This is actually made by Konami. It's not one of the greatest games ever made. It's actually really hard to play, and I feel like they didn't put a lot of effort into making this game. It's just a really cool. I bought it because it was a really cool game. The name, The Adventures of Bayou Billy, but it's not one of the greatest games. I would not recommend it. I would give it like a 2 out of 10. It's not that good. It's just I bought it because it looks cool. Right here is the Holy Grail of the NES, Legend of Zelda, the first one. I got mine in gold. I know they don't all come in gold. The second one, they all come in gold, but this one is in gold. What else do I have to say? It's one of the greatest games ever made. It's one of the greatest fantasy games of all time. I would recommend anyone to purchase The Legend of Zelda on the NES. I would recommend it. It's really fun. 9 out of 10. It's challenging too, but it is a really fun game, and I would recommend it to anyone who loves fantasy games. The next thing I have is the Adventures of Bayou Billy. I have the manual for the game. It's a really cool manual. Gives you a story, and then it says how to play and all that stuff. It's the manual. Then I have the March Rider manual. It's actually really old. I have a seal of approval right there, so it is the real game manual. It just gives you a description of what the game is about, how to play it, what the, how to start it up. It's really cool. I got it with the game when I purchased it. It's a really cool manual. At least, I have one of the NES games in the boxes. Gotcha, the Sport. It's not really too good of a game. You use the light gun. It's basically a paintball game. Yeah, it's cool that it's in the box. I have the manual and all that stuff. I wouldn't really recommend it for just picking up a cartridge of it. It's made by LJN. But if you were going to buy it in the box, I would recommend it because it's just really, it's a cool game to own. The other game I have in the box is the Black Bass. It is a fishing simulator, and I would recommend it to anyone who loves fishing games. It's a really cool game. I actually have it out of the box right now. I didn't get too good of a copy, but I could probably buy another copy for like $2. But it's a really cool fishing game, and so I got it in the box. So that's really cool, the box. So yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share my NES game collection with you guys. So give this video a like. If you guys didn't like this video, I'm sorry. But I thought it was really cool for me to show you guys my NES collection for all those NES fans out there. If you don't know what an NES is, I've been abbreviating it. I can't speak. It's the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was basically the first home console launched by the Nintendo Corporation. It is a great console. I would recommend it. It was launched in 1985. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am the NES Ninja, and I will see you guys next time.